This Week in Connecticut with Dennis House starts now.
Good morning on this Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. Straight ahead today, the race for governor is heating up as Republicans and one Democrat target Governor Lamont. Plus, who will President Trump endorse? Insight on these candidates from Hartford Courant columnist and Daily Ructions author Kevin Rennie. Urban school districts in Connecticut say they are in crisis. They need help from the governor and state lawmakers. Two school superintendents join us today, Madeline Negron of New Haven and Thomas Anderson of East Hartford. Plus, a big change in tourism, restaurants teaming up with hotels to bring more money to our state. The head of this new organization, Scott Dolch, is our guest today. And Martha in George Washington at the historic Griswold Inn in Essex, preparing for America's 250th. But first, only 253 days until Election Day, and the governor's race is the big race in the state. This is a seat Republicans last won 20 years ago. So what are their chances this year? It is time to talk about the 2026 governor's race, and we are joined now by the state's, one of the state's premier commentators on politics.
Well, that's up to you.
You break a lot of stories on dailyructions.com. Kevin Rennie of the Hartford Courant. Good to see you here.
Thank you.
So overall, right now, the governor appears to be ahead, running for a third term.
Absolutely.
What's your assessment of the race as it stands right now? And then we'll go into all the candidates.
I think the governor is ahead, and there's a reason for that. He's one of the nation's most popular governors, and he is likely to be renominated without a primary, which would also be very helpful. And the Republicans face this insurmountable task, which is a couple of weeks ago, the YouGov Economist poll rated Donald Trump in each state. He was 33 points underwater in Connecticut. So 33% more people disapproved of his second term, the first year of his second term, than approved of it. That is an enormous gap. And at a time when people are not crossing over to split their tickets, to vote for people in the other party because they're furious, that is, I think will prove impossible for a Republican to overcome. And
Republicans in our state have had a very bad November. A lot of cities turned Democrat.
Very bad.
In towns.
Yes, I think 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you something. And just at the beginning of February, in the race for first special election race in Fairfield, the Democrat beat a veteran Republican by over 10 points.
In your judgment, what do people like about Ned Lamont?
He is familiar. That helps in a good way. He has restored the state's finances. I mean, legislators who haven't been around that long, they never lived through year after year after year of where we're going to get the money to pay for as much as what we did last year, let alone what we'd like to do this year. He's paid off $10 billion in debt, which frees up a lot of money for the budget. And he has kept taxes under control. And he seems to be, I think most people can say he is a sensible centrist.
He is being challenged by another Democrat.
He is.
Representative Josh Elliott.
Yes.
From the left, who says that,
far left.
That Ned Lamont is not progressive enough. But
he wants high, he thinks we're not taxed enough.
He's having difficulty raising money.
He is. He's having, so I think he has to raise $350,000 soon to tap into our ridiculously generous public financing program. He seems to have stalled.
So you don't see a primary on the Democratic side?
I don't. I think one reason may be that I don't think Josh Elliott wants to give up his seat in the State House of Representatives in order to primary Governor Lamont.
Let's talk about the Republican side. We've got Aaron Stewart, the former mayor of New Britain. We have Ryan Fazio, state senator from Greenwich, and Betsy McCoy, the former lieutenant governor.
I believe she announced her candidacy right here in this seat.
She did. She came in and she did that, and she sort of stirred the race up a little bit. But let's first of all begin with Aaron Stewart. Where do you think she stands right now? She did some polling recently that showed her ahead.
She did. I mean, I'm not surprised. This is her third statewide race, so she's familiar. She was mayor of New Britain for 12 years, so she's a Republican, activist Republican, certainly no. I think that poll, the candidate's own poll at this point in the race aimed more at delegates and town committees. I'm not sure about the sample. I do know it was ugly. It had some ugly questions, and it was trying to peel some bark off of Ryan Fazio,
How ugly?
accusing him of having business dealings with China that somehow made him hostile to Donald Trump. I mean, the sort of things that, if you know, in a poll, if you answer a poll like this one way that's not particularly helpful to Aaron Stewart, then you're going to get other questions to, as they say, push you in her direction.
She wants to win the convention and be the endorsed candidate, but
She
Ryan
does.
Fazio has also been working at the Capitol for several years now. Where do you see that going, and what do you think?
Well, I think he is thoughtful. This is not an easy time to thread the needle as a Republican if you do want to try to win in November. Aaron Stewart has thrown her lot in as a Trump-supporting Connecticut Republican, something new for her. 2 weeks ago, Ryan Fazio had an energy program, how to lower the cost of electricity, that was pretty thoughtful, and I thought presented it in an interesting way, and was sneered at by Aaron Stewart, which tells you something. You know, if you're her slogan is something different, but we're going to need to know some details as to what that is.
And Betsy McCoy, many say that she's the most colorful candidate in the race right now, and she is saying some things. She has a lot of television experience.
She walked out of a radio interview because they weren't getting her point about Connecticut's finances. And of course, the last time she ran for office in the late 20th century, she got 1.7% of the vote as a liberal in New York, running for governor.
So her thing is that she wants
just edging out Grandpa Munster, who was running on the ballot also.
She wants to get out. That's right. I remember that. What was his name?
Lewis.
Al Lewis. Yeah, she wants to get rid of the state income tax,
She does,
which other candidates have suggested in the past and have had no luck getting
Correct.
done.
In his first campaign for governor, Bob Stefanowski said he would eliminate the income tax over time and just rely largely on the sales tax, but would not increase the sales tax.
And for our younger viewers, of course, Connecticut didn't have an income tax until 1991.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So that's where
But
that
now
comes
we
from.
are locked in because we are committed to
It's difficult
spending
to
a
get
lot
rid
of money.
Where do you see the race going between these three? I think a debate between all three would be fascinating.
I think a debate is essential, Dennis. I hope they do it right here with you in your
Well,
position.
we're working on it.
I'll send you some questions.
Will
But
Betsy McCoy be a factor?
I think she's getting around to the town committees that's where the delegates are chosen. She needs to get 15% of the delegates. If she doesn't, it's very hard to collect signatures to get on the ballot. So I think she might be able to get 15% on a first ballot. All you need is on one ballot. Maybe it goes to a second ballot, and then someone else becomes the endorsed candidate. It's very helpful in Connecticut to be the endorsed candidate.
Which Republican do you see winning the convention in May? That's not that far along.
No. It's less than two. It's less than 3 months. I think, but delegates are chosen next month. I would not be surprised to see Aaron Stewart win the convention, but there are a fair number of delegates in Fairfield County who I think in a block will stick with Ryan Fazio.
And Ryan Fazio, of course, knows all these people from the Capitol, so they would
He
have to
does.
say,
He does.
Ryan, even though I work with you, I'm going to be supporting Aaron Stewart.
Well, no, he has a lot of legislators who have endorsed him. I think all the Senate Republicans endorsed him. A lot of House members. The problem is that doesn't always translate into delegates because they're independent operators and they may not necessarily think, well, I don't need to follow along with what my state senator wants.
Which of the three gets the Trump endorsement, and does it even help?
Well, it certainly helps in a Republican primary. I mean, the extreme anti-democratic right is captured the Republican Party, and they turn out in primaries, which we saw in the 2022 primary with Leora Levy and
That really helped
Themis.
Leora Levy tremendously.
Yeah, and that was, I think, a week before he did it by phone.
Yeah. Those close to Betsy McCoy will say that she's going to get the Trump endorsement.
Well, they may.
Would it help before the convention? Like if he did it now?
I think so. I mean, there are, I think probably delegates are, more devoted to this madness than even some of the primary voters.
What does a Republican have to do to beat Ned Lamont in November? What has to happen?
They'd have to beat him in a Democratic primary. That's the only way that they're going to be able to beat him. I just think that it is.
You think he's sailing to re-election?
The majority of Connecticut voters are in no mood to reward the Republican Party based on what they are doing, and it is our chance to act. That's the most frustrating part of this year is what do we do about what is happening?
So they're voting against Trump in November, not necessarily
Absolutely.
against Stuart Fazio.
Well, yes, they are, because they will be endorsing. They will be endorsing Donald Trump.
Kevin Rennie from the Hartford Courant and Daily Ructions. Make sure you read his website every day. There's always a good little nugget of news in there. We appreciate you being in the program.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
And I meant to say that Betsy McCoy was Lieutenant Governor of New York. Next week, we will be joined by Governor Lamont. And after the break, helping students in Connecticut cities get better education. That's next.